Live now. Here we go. Strange after 2 weeks off, you know what I mean? Hi, it's Bernie Slavin here. Thanks for joining me on YouTube and Facebook Live. And thanks as always to the sponsors, GRS Installation, Smith & Friends Estate Agents, Cornerstone, Dovecot, Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Heroes and Legends, TGM Cars. Well, Burroughs travelled to Oxford and Michael Carrick changed the side yet again. Like majority of managers up and down the country. Saul Bryn was in goal. There was no Dieng. He wasn't even on the bench. Saul Bryn in goal. Borges left. Ailing right. Two central defenders were Edmondson and Clark. On the left with Berzog. On the right, the outstanding informed Doak. Belazer and Housen come in for the two internationals that was injured, Morris and Hackney, and Azaz and Latilaf up front. On the bench was Glover, Fry, McGree, Jones, Dick Steele, Hamilton, Foz, Conway and McCabe. That was the lineup. Was it good enough to get down there and win? Well, I thought so when I seen the team. I didn't think there was, with Morris out injured and Hackney, I knew Belazer and Housen. I think everybody knew that they were the two that was going to come in. Didn't see any real problems there, and it turned out there wasn't any problems. We turned them over big time. It's another great result. I mean, it's amazing, the goal haul. 15 goals in the last 3 games. It's absolute madness. You know, some people say, well, they're the team bottom half of the table. Yeah, but going away from home and scoring 6 goals is no mean feat. I mean, the goals, I had the Power Cup where I lived yesterday. That's why I didn't do it yesterday. So I waited to back of 9 last night. Everything came on, the electric, the telly, the radio, and I did watch the goals, obviously. Every one of the goals was deliberate, accurate and precise. They were all put in the right or left-handed corners, left-sided corners, low and hard. They were all similar. Watch them. There wasn't one that was rattled with the laces that you didn't know where it was going and it went in the top of the net. They were all bottom corners. They must have been practicing on it. I have to say, despite my my praising the goals, and rightly so, 6 goals, incredible. 15 and 3, 18 and 5, unbelievable. We knew the goals were going to come, but not in this manner. Obviously, Blackburn Wednesday were a different ball game. They're a better side than probably the last 3 were played, but we're good enough to beat them. But yeah, just incredible all over. But looking at their keeper, if he reflects on it, he went down like a tree for every goal. And he had the agility, a metal bar, a steel bar. I don't know if he's a young kid, I don't know who he was. But anyway, no taking that away. Well done, Latilaf. Hat-trick, magnificent. I hope we get the ball. Hope we didn't have to pay for it. Things are tight these days, you know what I mean? Everybody don't want to get anything for nothing these days. No, but seriously, well done to Latilaf. Great hat-trick. Delighted to see him allowed to get a hat-trick, because a lot of coaches and managers take off players when they're on 2 goals. But delighted for Latilaf, because people were questioning him when he was on the move, or he thought he was on the move, and everybody say, oh, get rid of him, put him in a stand, he's not wanting to be here. Look, it suited both parties. The club were probably happy with the investment they were going to get. Latilaf was obviously going to be happy to get more money. Never worked out. I suggest it was probably more. He had a new front man. He had Conway one week, he had Big Berzog the next week, he had every Tom, Dick and Harry. On the right it was changing regular, Doak's settled now. On the left it's still changing regular. Behind him in midfield it was changing. So he just had to get his footing and bearings right, and he's settled in again, and now he's banging in form. I think I had 5 or 6 for this season, so brilliant. Well done to Borough. Incredible amount of goals. Not even the biggest critic out there can criticise the Borough. Yeah, they might say, oh, another 2 goals conceded and we can't keep a clean sheet. Yeah, but do you know what? Clean sheets for me won't get us promotion. Scoring goals will, and winning games and putting teams to bed early doors. You know, amazing tally of goals. We'll track back. I know it's a Sunday, 9 to 10. Some people up in the morning knows it's fortunate enough to have a job. Sol needs to stay in goal from now on. Burnley mate Keith Williams. Well, I didn't watch the games. I thought the 2 goals were iffy. I thought they were disappointing, the 2 goals we conceded. One was a corner kick, one at back stick came in, scored. The other one, but look, young Saul Bryn's a local lad. He's been chomping at the bit for quite some time. He's been out on loan here, there and everywhere. Now he's got a number and he's in the squad. And let's hope he gets more games. Gary Boris says top 2. Well, Gary, I said a few weeks ago, if we can get our home form right, because the home form's been indifferent. Away from home, we've not the problem in the main. Home form's been indifferent. If we can get that right, there's no reason why we can't be top 2. But we have. It's okay going away from home, and it's, as I say, it's some feat. Scoring 6 away from home, scoring 3 against Norwich. So yeah, why not? Everything's up for grabs at the minute. Everybody's stuttering. I mean, I thought Sunderland won yesterday. Obviously, I say power cut and didn't really bother. I seen they were 1-1-0 and I checked in the morning and Millwall had scored. Daniel Jones says, great result for the Borough against Oxford yesterday. Top 2 for the Borough. Daniel Jones is jumping in as well and saying, why not the top 2? I just think we should always keep a powder dry. We know what football's like. 1 minute you're up there, you're in a different sphere and planet and zone, and then you copy your pants down the next day. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the game it is. But when you look at the amount of goals in the last 3 games, I mean, the other team must be petrified, thinking, how do we stop this juggernaut? You know, we were creating chances starting the season. We were missing them. The law of averages says you have to start scoring, which we did, but I don't think anybody in the world is strange. We all says some team is going to get a hammer and a baton, but we never thought it was going to be game after game. Like laughing, 7 goals now, top scorers in the league. See, that's it, Craig. Lucky Laugh for me shouldn't have been out of the team. When he was supposedly or reportedly on the move and he stayed behind, I can't remember the opposition, we travelled away from home, he was left behind. Then he made the journey because it had fallen through for whatever reason, we'll never know. And then he was on the bench. I thought we should have played him. I'd have played him. I'd have says, I know we're going to spill milk, but I'd have stroked his ear and says, look, never happened. You're a big player for me. You did brilliant last season. Get the goals. You're back in the team. And keep producing, and down the line you might get the moves you require and desire. But anyway, he's back in now and it'll be, I mean, Conway's still done well. What's he got? He's got 6. He scored yesterday. He gets 6. Azaz, I mean, 11 games. I kept looking at Azaz thinking, every shot he hits, it hits the first man. There's always a player blocks it. He's got this chop, chop, chop. But now, he's scoring goals for fun. He scored about 5 now. So he scored none in 11. Now he's got 5 in the last 5 games or whatever. So incredible with him as well. But well done to them all. Berzog's come on, and by all accounts, those that watched the full game were saying and tweeting me today, saying that he was very good and he did a job on that left-hand side. Certainly nothing to fear in the league this year. Matthew King. As I say, there's nobody could hang your hat on and say Leeds will definitely win. Burnley's going to definitely win. Middlesbrough. We're all hitty-missy. Yeah, I mean, we're on a run now, and if we could go on a run 12, 14 games, dear me. But the pressure seems to be getting at Sunderland, we're local rivals. Because they're losing points now. They've lost them at home. They lost a late goal yesterday. Clearly the best strike force in Europe, Chris Hills. Seriously, very pleased for the manager. He's stuck to his guns. Coach, not manager. Coach, Chris, coach. And not a lot of managers in the modern game. He stuck to his gun that's coming off. Well, Chris, I says that. When I was saying I wouldn't chop and change the team, and I still wouldn't, but Carrick's doing it, and he's coming up trumps. And if I was Carrick's mindset, I would be stubborn as a mule. I don't care what criticism's coming my way, what flack, what stick, I'll deal with it, because within my gut, I have to do what I think's right for the team. And Carrick's sticking to his morals, principles, and all that. And it's coming off, isn't it? I mean, we're in the top 6 now. And if we can keep top 6 into January, then that's quite a feat. Who knows? We may be up there. But as I say, let's keep our feet in the ground. Mark Anderson. Hi, Bernie. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Fantastic result yesterday. 15 goals in 3 games. Top now 5, and this is where we need. It's a long one, so I'm going to respect it. Top now 5, 5th in the league. This is where we need to stay for the rest of the season. The next 2 games we must win, as it's Burnley and Leeds after. Also, why was McGree on the bench again? I'm sure he would have been fit to start. The McGree thing, do you know what? The McGree thing, there's something more than meets the eye. Every time he goes away with Australia, he's on the bench for Middlesbrough. Every time he comes back from international duty, he's on the bench for Middlesbrough. And yet there's other guys go away in international duty, come in and are in the team. I know he travels the biggest distance, no doubt, especially if it's in Australia. But yeah, I still don't really buy into it. There's something, as I say, we'll never know. Somebody says to me that day, oh, he walks about with an ice pack all week and he's always got a wee injury, a wee niggle, and I don't know. But there's something. Don't forget, I've been in dressing rooms. I know what goes on behind closed doors. And my gut is telling me there's more than meets the eye. We don't know the real reason, but there is a reason, and I don't think it's it. Why would you leave him out of your team before he goes to Australia? We're not interested in Australia, we're Middlesbrough. This is the bread and butter. This is where he earns his corn. This is where he earns his weekly wage. You know, turning out for your country is a great thing, but this is bread and butter. But every time he's in international duty, and it's happened 3-4 times now, he's on the bench. And then when he comes back, he's on the bench. As I say, if you're talking about jet lag, it must only go one way. Jonathan Hill says, Saul commanded his box, catching the ball rather than punching. Good decision making, setting up chances, great saves. He needs a run the side. Well, Jonathan, I'll bow to you and the other lads' superior knowledge. First game I've missed for God knows how many years, and it was due to Power Cup, which went on at 11 yesterday and didn't come back on to 9 at night. So, and I have to say, 9 at night, I watched, I know we're going off the Middlesbrough thing, but I watched the match of the day thing. Didn't know any of the Premier League scores because I concentrate on the Championship because I'm more concerned about us. Didn't know the score, and I listen a bit of national radio while I'm painting during the week, listening to a bit of music, and I've heard Spurs fans coming on, Postecoglou, out and out football, but he's crap defensively. They let too many goals in. He should be sacked. He should be gone. If he doesn't beat Man City, he should be sacked. 4-0. Pep, what is it, 4 games in the bounce he's been done. Wow. Incredible. We'll see how good Pep is now, because I don't think he's ever had such a bad run. Has he got well, you would presume he has. He's been a player and he's faced controversy and things going against him, I'm sure, a lifetime, but he has to really, well done, Andrew, incredible. Because you manage in Australia and because you manage in Glasgow or Scotland, people just write you off, oh, get rid of him. He beat Man City 4-0. I don't think they've been beaten for like 40, 50 games in Manchester. Incredible feat. And those out there that say, Ange, get rid of him and all that, you've tried it, use Tottenham fans, I know yous on there, but no Tottenham National, or talking to the borough here. But those who criticised Ange, you had Mourinho, boring. Conte, boring. You wanted football, you've got football, now you're still boring. Mike Flanagan, we must keep this up, Bernie. I fear that if we lose a game, the fans will turn on the players again. It's a long season, but we look good. I can't for the life of me. Look, the fans have booed this season, don't get me wrong, there's a couple of games they did boo, and rightly so, because we were garbage at the Riverside. Getting beat 3-0 against Coventry was what was embarrassing. Hold on, my cat. Come here. Alright. Hold on. My cat just fell there. I have to pick her up, she's 19. Okay, you're alright. Where was I? Yeah, so we have had stick at home, but in the main, the fans have travelled the country, the fans have been behind the team, the majority. There has been blips here and there, but every team gets that. And as a player, you know when you've had a duff game or when your team's off, or the result will tell you that, or if you've let inferior goals in. I know they accepted the stick, part and parcel of the gig. I'm not so sure the modern players get the fibre and the steel to just flick it off. I think some of them take it personally. I'm just talking Middlesbrough players, not talking about them down the country. Not used to it. If West Ham get beat tomorrow night, bad news for the borough. If West Ham get beat tomorrow night, bad news for the borough. Why would that be, Gary? You think he's the reason? Is this a guessing game we're playing? Is this a... yeah, West Ham, who do they play tomorrow? Again, Premier League games, isn't it? It's not Newcastle, is it? Anyway, West Ham playing tomorrow. And I know what you're referring to. Oh, Gary, you're putting 2 and 2 together and getting 10. You're saying that West Ham get beat tomorrow, he'll get sacked and Carrick will get the job. Can't see it. Can't see it. Sunderland's honeymoon period is over. Drew last 4 games. Yeah. As I say, when you're at the top and number 1, the pressure's on. You know, you get the dark horses that just sit in the shade. 6th, 7th, 8th. We've been one of them recently. 7th, 8th. And then you come with a bust and you set the header alight near the end of the season. If you ignore Coventry game, we've scored 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6 goals. Should we expect 7 on Wednesday? This is for Muhammad Ali. Hi, Muhammad. Seems to have clicked for Latte Laugh and Azaz. Fair play to Carrick. Man management skills, as can't have been easy. Yeah, the thing about Carrick and Azaz, Michael Carrick, I always say what I see on match day, like the majority is. Carrick sees Azaz every day of the week. Carrick, and I might be wrong, but check it out, I think he's the only player that's played every game this season. So Carrick stuck by him in the barren spell. No goals in 10, 11 games. Takes a lot of balls to stick with somebody that's not scored in that time. I know he's created a few, but he's still there to score goals, as he has now proven. So he's making goals and scoring goals, so it's happy days. More draws than Clint Eastwood. Oh, Craig, man. The old jokes are no good. Can't wait to Christmas. A few years get new Christmas jokes. Or new jokes, joke books. It's great to see us banging them in, Bernie. The confidence is starting to show now. And we've got a good, strong squad. This is Mark Cooper. Unlike last season, do you know the extent of injuries to Morris and Hackney? Hope it's not long out. I don't, Mark. Obviously, I get tidbits like the majority is when Morris went to America. They kept him back over there because they wanted to see his injury and what was the real problem before they sent him back. So I don't really know the extent. And Hackney, I don't know, he didn't play, did he, for the 21? So obviously they've got issues and problems, and that's one of the downsides about having international players, but all top teams have got internationals in their side. Mark Smith, hiya Mark. Good evening, Bernie. What a result yesterday. Massive moment in the game was 1-1, and Saul made a save in the 1v1. It's a long one, so I'm going to respect it. Saul made a great save in the 1v1. We went on to score a minute later. Great to see we have strength and depth. Well, we've got 28 players, Mark, in total. And we go again on Wednesday. Maybe the McGree thing is good management. Well, it is when you're winning. If you get beat, you can always look for bits to have a go at. But we now have a run of games until March where there are no internationals game, and it will play a huge part in very important time for us. Fair play, Mark. That's a good point. You know, maybe back, but tell you what, if I was playing Saturday and I'm left out midweek game, dear me, I'd knock Carrick's doors down. I would like to keep hold of Michael Carrick for this season. Daniel Dons. Well, I'm sure he's not going anywhere, Daniel. But obviously, the more good he does, if he gets promoted, then that's when the big guns and some of the big boys will be having a look and thinking, we'll like to look to him. Would you have loved to have played with Azaz, Bernie? Why would Carrick go to West Ham? David McCarthy. Well, there's a few rumours flying about, but it happened last season, talking about Carrick going to West Ham. I don't know why Carrick would go to West Ham. I mean, they got rid of David Moyes because of his brand of football, and yet he won a European competition. No, it wasn't European Cup, but it was still a cup that West Ham have not won for many, many years. But because his football was more about playing a more negative brand, but he was being successful. I think they finished, well, they were in a European spot, and then they sacked him. So West Ham, sometimes you deserve what you get, and maybe West Ham are deserving where they are at the minute and what they're getting. If you get a hiding tomorrow, the manager could be sacked, but I don't think Carrick will leaving Borough to go there for sure. And Azaz puts him in a play, and Azaz, as I say, I was critical of Azaz because he wasn't scoring goals. And if I was talking about myself, I would have been critical 11 games without a goal. I'd have been embarrassed, to be honest. But he's in it now. He's making them, and we knew he could make, and he had an eye for creativity and he could scan the pitch and get quality service. But now he's scoring 5 goals. I tell you what, all the lads up front, Azaz, Latte Laugh, they should all be looking for double figures, at least. Hold on, I get a cat down. Michael Goody says, hi Bernie, hope you're well. What was great to see was the way a goalkeeper was releasing the ball quickly up the field. None of this tippy-tappy stuff from the back. I believe that's why we're scoring goals, getting the ball upfield a lot quicker. Let's hope we can carry on that way. Yeah, well, fair play to Carrick as well, because Carrick must have eventually caved in and thought, do you know what? I'm taking chances. I know this is the way I want to play, but sometimes you just have to relax a bit and make one or two adjustments. And yeah, the games before yesterday's, we were releasing the ball quicker, sometimes hitting it long, where we're used to fanning about the back, tippy-tappy nonsense. So yeah, but well done, Saul Bryn. That's a few people that's complimented him and said he moves the ball quicker, and he did well, and he's had a good shot or two. So well done to Saul Bryn. I've been saying Saul Bryn for a year or two. Remember the 5-2 away at Oxford, Bernie? Baird hat-trick was it 34 years ago, apparently. Frightening, that. Do you know what, Giles Chusen? Hiya, Giles. Hope you're well, mate. Giles, you know, I tried to think about that today, because I think I scored as well, right? There was 5, and I get brought down for a penalty, and I handed the ball to Birdie. I think I was a penalty taker. I probably missed it, but I handed it to Birdie because he was on the hat-trick. Was that the score? 5-2? 5-2, and 34 years ago, dear God, where have those years gone, Giles? 5-2, Ian Baird hat-trick. And now we've got Latty Laugh hat-trick. Yeah, Ian Baird, I know it was Birdie. And if you're interested in Birdie, if you listen to Total BS podcast, my weekly podcast, on every Monday, it's free. Just put in Bernie Slavin, Total BS. You get it for free. It's part 2 of Ian Baird. Baird is a great speaker. Great stories, no nonsense centre forward, on and off the pitch. He's no nonsense opinion. And part 2's tomorrow. David McArthur says, I keep Saul in the team for the next game. What do you think? Well, I never seen his performance yesterday, so I can't comment. But I'd love to see the kid given a run. Why not? Why not? I mean, Deng's been in. People are saying, oh, it must be in his contract, plays every game like the previous keeper. I don't know if that's true or untrue. But if Saul's did a good job yesterday, which people are telling me, why shouldn't he keep his place? Saying that, wasn't a clean sheet, 2 goals conceded, so you could have the flip side of that. Good to see, I just want to mention Big Tony Mowbray. Good to see Big Mugger, Captain Fantastic, and my old pal. Good to see him on tellies and radios and in clubs and pubs or whatever, or clubs, talking about his setback from football, you know, his ambition to get back into the game. Don't forget, I've always regarded Mugger a man with great morals, principles, a man of integrity. Not a lot of people in football has got those qualities, and he's got it in abundance. So it's great to see him getting there and his ambitions back to get a job. I'm hoping to do Mugger on a podcast as a Christmas special. So that should be interesting. But as I say, Mugger, if you look at the love and respect he's had up and down the country, you know, you watch Sunderland, West Bromwich Albion, Ipswich, Celtic, Leeds United, up and down the country, even clubs that he's not been involved in, everybody loves Mugger. And I'm glad they love him, because he is a genuine human being. He's a great human being. And he deserves all the respect and well wishes. And it's great to see him getting back to where he was, and his hunger and desire, the fire's burning within, to get back in the game. And you know, I know, if you're into football, come January, there'll be one. Well, there's a manager gone already, isn't he? The Leicester City manager got sacked after the game today. Gary Upek said, the thing I like about Carrick, he sticks by his players and doesn't panic. They all come good in the end, Bernie. Joseph Slavin. Well, they have. Let's hope there's no more blips, but you can never tell in this mad game. You know, the winter months are really closing in now. I mean, the last couple of days, not so much today, the last couple of days were Baltic. Maybe not in Oxford, but up here, it was like the North Pole, let alone the North East. I seen a penguin walking by the house with a big bear thing. David McCaffrey says, I was at Cleveland Park at the Dogs, listening to that match against Oxford when you and Birdie scored. Things you remember, same as when you scored the 2 late goals at West Ham in Division 1. I was in a taxi going home to Eston. David McCarthy. Yeah, that game I think was 88-89. David, you've jotted my memory. We played West Ham away. We were in the old First Division, the equivalent of today's Premier League. We went there. Peter had written us off and said if we don't win the game, which people didn't fancy us, we weren't favourites by any stretch of the imagination. And on the night we won two passes to flick on for near post, corner kicks near post. I got 2 back headers. I got a bang into the eye as well. I ended up I couldn't see for a week. My vision was blurred because I got an elbow. Anyway, that woke us up because I was garbage for about 60 minutes that night, as was the team. And we ended up winning 2-1. And everybody was tipping us we were going to stay in the division, but it wasn't to be. We lost out eventually. But getting back to Mugger, yeah, just an unbelievable human being. And as I say, I don't think it'll be long before we see him in the game. Matt Smith, hi Matt. I was there that day, Bernie, when Birdie got his hat trick, and you and Robbie must have got the others by you for some memory, Matt. I barely remembered I scored, and Robbie must have as well. I took my youngest son Theo yesterday for his first away game. I've seen a picture of it. And the away end, he loved every minute and learnt a few new words. A few choice words or new words, man. I'm sure he did, but it's part of growing up. You know, I used to go to Parkhead when I was a kid. My dad used to put me on the front of the wall, buy us sweets. Didn't really understand the game, just more interested in the sweets. But then you get into it, and then as you become older, you're roped in, and it's a great thing. Going to football as a fan, but obviously if you play, it's fantastic. But if you're a fan, it's great as well. There's a passion and a loyalty and a love, and it's just one big family. We all the fans that support the same team. Mohammed says, I'm a little worried about the 2 home games. The last few games, teams have tried to play football with higher lines, against us, and we've been immense. Teams might go back to park the bus, which is when we struggled. Well, Mohammed, that was again, I'm flipping it, and I know what you're saying. You're right. Teams that part the bus, we find it difficult to break down, but we have to find a way. I'm sure we're good enough, and the spirits are so high, and the confidence and the adrenaline levels are so high, it's unbelievable. But you flick it yesterday, Premier League, Tottenham, they could have went there, try and park the bus and go the way everybody's, well, a lot of people are saying Ange has to change his tack. Can he keep attacking? They're going to Man City, best attacking team in the world, not just here in England or in Europe, but the world. And Ange went and played them at their own game and absolutely destroyed them. I always say fortune favours the brave. You might as well have a go. If you're going to get beat, you get beat, but let's have a go. I remember Kevin Keegan at Newcastle. They would go and score 5. Sometimes they get beat 5-4. But he would rather have a go. And yeah, I watched Middlesbrough here. When Rav and Janino went out, we had a go. Same team every week in the main. Played great football, enjoyable to watch, but unfortunately get relegated. But I don't think there was one Borough fan that would have looked back or who was there and thought, oh, this is rubbish. Everybody would have loved it and endeared it because it was so good to watch. Yeah, we did. We got to cup finals galore, but we get relegated, and that was a shocker, don't get me wrong, but the football we played and the style and the brand was great. Dave McCarthy says the only time we'd been the bottom 3 that season was the last game of the season against Sheffield Wednesday game. Is that right, David? I mean, I was involved in it. It was just a blur. I was tied up in it. Is that right? So there you are. So David's telling us, I know we're reflecting in hindsight, but it's been that national break, so there's Borough focusing on one game. But so that season, equivalent to the Premier, the old first, we were never in the top 3 until the last game of the season. I remember going to Sheffield Wednesday. I remember there was a few injuries to top players. Gary Hamilton was one of them, and Palmy was a big player for us. And there was a few others, not many excuses. And I think, was it Hurst? Can't remember his first name. There's a guy called Hurst, centre forward, good striker, scored a lot of goals. He scored the winner. Big Ron Atkinson was the manager that day. Tell me I'm wrong, I don't think I am. I think Big Ron was the manager. Unbelievable, isn't it? Staying at the bottom 3 till last game and then you get relegated. I remember I was absolutely distraught, gutted for the team, for my teammates after what we'd been through. But I always remember coming back to Essen Park. I don't think Bruce Rayk had made the journey. No, he did. And everybody was invited upstairs for a drink. It's the last game of the season, relegated. We're all distraught. I've still chipped in with my quarter of goals. I'm happy with my contribution, but gutted overall because we're relegated. And I was enjoying playing the top flight. Anyway, comes off the bus. I remember Colin Todd saying he just blanked me. He blanked Paul Kerr, and he blanked Matt Buck, and he blanked me, and every other player. He says, up the stairs for a drink, up the stairs for a drink. So they all went up the stairs. We went underneath. If you have a certain age, underneath where the gymnasium was at Essen Park, we used to park the cars, and I remember walking in, and there was Paul Kerr and Matt Buck, and we all looked at each other and said, what's that about? I said, what, are they blaming us for relegation? All the rest invited for a drink, and I remember going in the Monday, I was boiling, and I confronted them, and I said, why was I not invited for a drink? Are you putting on me that I said, I scored goals to try our best to keep us up. Are you blaming me and the other two lads? Oh no, you don't drink alcohol. I said, what are you on about? I drink soft drinks. Anyway, yeah, didn't like that, and that was, so, not just that, you're not getting invited for a drink after playing every game that season, and being part of a team that's relegated and gutted for your teammates and for the town and for the fans, and then you're getting another knock, not getting invited for a drink. Bad management. David Baker says, amazing that I couldn't watch this match and miss 6 goals. Will it be 7 next match? Hopefully we have turned a corner and maybe a couple of more new players in the next window. Where would you strengthen the squad? Well, left back I still think would be a position to sort. I mean, Bozos is there at the minute, but I still think a left back wouldn't go amiss. A more attacking minded, creative winger in the Gels mould. Obviously hard to find, but that would be a definite. If there was another striker, it'd be great. Left winger. The boy Hamilton hasn't really set the head of the light. Do you think you'll go on Higgy and Waiter's new podcast, Stevie? If the club pay me £300, yeah, I will go on, yeah. Funny I didn't ask me, innit? Wonder why that is. No, I've got more. I'm only joking. No, I'm pals with Big Wheats and Higgy. I love both of them. Great lads. So, hey, David, you couldn't watch the match. You're away the other side of the world. I'm here. And then all the electrics went off, everything went off, and as I say, never. I didn't even know we'd win until 5:30. I went into Stokesley to get a curry because I couldn't heat anything because obviously electric's off. And as I'm there, my phone pinged, which wasn't working either, no internet, and it pinged and my mate had put, what a result, 6. I went, what? I thought he was winding me up. So the squad, yeah, left side, that's where I would sort it. You score 3, well, score 4 attitude. Yeah, I like that, David. The negative managers like Karanka and Pulis and Warnock and that would despise that mentality. But I would rather play with that, on the edge, let's excite. Fortune favours the brave, let's have a go. Yeah, and that's what the fans want to see, isn't it? Some people say it's gung ho. I remember talking about Tony Mowbray. Tony Mowbray was at West Brom, he scored over 100 goals. And then went in the Premier League, and unfortunately he kept playing the brand that he wanted. He did change it eventually at Blackburn, especially when he came to Middlesbrough, 2 big centre forwards who put it about and that. He did change eventually, but when he went in the Premier League, they were letting goals in for fun. Do you remember Muggers' goal at home to Norwich? David Hurst from a corner at the Kop. Muggers' goal against Norwich. Was it a 20-yarder? We should have described it, David. Let us know. Was it a shot? I remember Mugger hitting one. It was at the Holgate end. I'm sure he hit one for 20 yards. Pallister did the same. What game was that? So yeah, I have seen Mugger and Pally straight one for 20 yards. Not a lot, but yeah, just one of them you go, wow, how'd they do that? When they're centre halves. Adrian Watson says, nice to hear about the West Ham game in 1988. I was there. Good times. Great to see. Good times at Oxford. Very happy with Azaz. Can he play alongside McGree? Thoughts? Can he play alongside McGree? What do you mean, play alongside McGree? Azaz is number 10, so he sits behind the forward, and the forward's obviously Conway, Latte Laugh. Bazog can play there, but he's left at the minute. So where does McGree get in now? Does McGree go back to the left and take Bazog out? Or does McGree remain on the bench? I don't know. But Azaz is, as I say, check it out. I'm sure Azaz has played every game, and he's the only player in this team, in the squad, that played every game. Great result, Bernie. All about Wednesday's game now, Timmy Leach. Yeah, look, we just have to, because the games are coming quick, thick and fast now. From now to Christmas, we've got about 6 games, starting at Blackburn. Not in this order, but we've got Hull City, we've got Burnley, we've got Leeds United, we've got Sun. We've got a lot of big games coming up now. The 3 teams we've met and scored the 15 goals against are all teams that will be fighting for their lives. I don't think we can shy away from that. Look at the form, look at the goals they're conceding, and the fashion they're getting beat. As I say, that goalkeeper on Saturday, dear me, he was going down like that. Time he got to the ground, the ball was in the back of the net. Every goal was bottom right or left corner. David McCall says, the Borough fans mobbed a certain Mr. Giles yesterday at services on the way home. In a nice way, obviously. Left you out for a drink, care too, cheeky bastards, Bernie. Chris Hills. No, that's a story that, as I say, you never got to know things like that. But so you can imagine Middlesbrough. That year, I think I was 3rd top scorer in the division. So relegated to the top flight, done. I'm not blowing my trumpet, I'm just trying to put things in perspective. So I'm absolutely distraught, because I took things personal as well. I hadn't scored against Sheffield last game of the season, so I carry the can for that. I've scored goals and done well, but come on, how did I not score? We got a few injuries, yeah? And Paul Kerr had played his first share that season, and Matt Buck. But not to get invited for a drink, and only 3 is out of a squad of about 15. Yeah, that really says a lot. As I say, I went home and stewed on it the Monday, and then I went in. Yeah, it was me. I confronted them as to why, and that was the rubbish they gave me. Outside the box, top corner, Norwich Mugger. Yeah, I do remember it, Chris. I think he actually came across him and he cut it. Oh, Mugger. I remember his goal against Aston Villa live in the telly. Ball came in for the right, Mugger went through the air. There was boots flying, studs heading from him. I mean, I'd have pulled out. I was a coward. So was Big Pally a coward. Mugger went in there. Everything. The head could have been taken off. What a goal that was. I remember I was first on his shoulder. You see me, if you see it on YouTube, he bangs it in with his head. I'm on his shoulder. I'm practically strangling him. But yeah, Mugger, Norwich, I do remember it. David says, from about 30 yards out, straight into the top corner at the Holgate end, Mowbray all the way, was what the TV guys shouted, laugh out loud. Yeah, I remember it well. I remember it. And Andrew says, so delighted with the Borough result yesterday, Andrew Hill. I am so happy Latty Laugh scored a hat-trick yesterday. Do you think Carrick stick with the same team on Wednesday against Blackburn? Well, the way he's doing it now, I don't. But I'm a fan of sticking to the same team. But when Carrick is messing about with the team now and getting results, then the thing is, if we went on Saturday, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if we played Saturday, McGree's on the bench, he's changed the goalkeeper, and we get done on Saturday, Peter will run his case. But he's obviously wanting to take that on board. And he's doing what he's got to tell him and what he believes in. So I admire that stubbornness and honesty, and he's not going to bow to anybody or everybody. And that, for me, is the way you should manage. Because whether you do it your way, the guys above's way, or somebody else's way, you're going to get done anyway. You're going to lose your job eventually. So you might as well do it your way. Yeah, Giles was happy to see the Borough fans. I'm sure he was, David. He had a great relationship with the fans. He had a great time in Teesside. He was the most creative player. I think he was the most creative player in the Championship. I'm sure he was. Akpom was our top scorer in the Championship, and he was the biggest provider. Yeah, he cut across it. I lost my shoe when Mugger scored in the South. David, how do you lose your shoe? You mean when you jump up? Was your shoes too big for you? How do you lose your shoe? I've never done that. I've stood in many a stadium and celebrated many a goal, whether it be league goals, European goals. I've did it all, but I've never lost a shoe. There's always a chance somebody peeing in your shoe if it goes missing. You ever thought of that one? Gary Upick says, Bernie, you say the teams we scored against will be fighting for their life. Yeah, they will. There are the same type of teams we've bottled it against the last 2 seasons, mate. That's true as well. I'll give you that, Gary. That's right. Yeah, the 2 newly promoted teams, they'll be probably scrapping as well. And in Coventry, who were struggling, they can beat us 3. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But as I always say, Middlesbrough, you write Middlesbrough off at your pill. When we've been written off, I mean, I played in games where it was a formality, and we'd go out, try to be professional, and you get done with a team that couldn't clean your boots. And then you go against the big guns like Chelsea in the playoffs and you beat them. So it's always been in our DNA, and it's just one of those things. Tommy Conway, it's with Michael Goody. Tommy Conway coming on and scoring was great, Bernie. You would have loved seeing him running towards the fans, celebrating a bit like yourself. Was great to see. I love that, Michael Goody. You know, some players just go, oh yeah, and yeah, everybody's different, but I love to see a player. There is no better feeling than scoring a goal, especially if you're sitting forward. Scoring a goal, that's why they erect the goals every week and get the grounds when they put the nets up and you have shooting practice. To score goals, that's why you play football. That's the be all and end all, scoring goals. Keep them at one end, score goals as many as you can. And we've certainly chipped in with 15-3, which is astonishing. But I love players celebrating. Love it. I say, when I've reflected Middlesbrough, Ravanelli pulling a shot over the head was a great one. 6-pack Ravanelli. You had Big Fjortoft doing the aeroplane thing. You know, those were eye-catching. Loved them. Akpom when he jumped in the fence when he scored his 20th league goal. Love all that. But I remember Festa getting his shirt off at Reading in the cup, doing that. It was soaking wet and he's swinging it round and it was offside. That was hilarious. Couldn't get it on. So it was absolutely ringing, it was soaking. For 90 minutes of rain and he scored late on and it was this loud. David says, that Moffat goal against Fulham was a classic at Mugger. I think it was one of the first ever live TV games. I may have it in video somewhere. You're seeing YouTube, David? Go on YouTube and just look in there. I'll tell you who was doing the summarising. St Greavesy. Ian St John, the former Liverpool centre forward, he was doing the summarising that day on the television. David says, talking about that Villa game, we're going over all right. Gave the TV, had Mugger before the game, says to him he had a face like a 60 cigarette card. I remember that, David. It was actually presented by us years ago. I've never smoked, but I remember, man, his uncles used to smoke. You just get cards of footballers and film stars, not 60s, 70s, 80s, well, no, 80s, 60s, 70s. And Mugger was presented with a framed, with a host of footballers, cigarette pictures. And yeah, they did say that Mugger had a face like a 60s cigarette card. Mugger, damn spell check, don't worry about it, I got it, celebrating the goal. Do you think Ben Doak, who is on loan from Liverpool, will be here until the end of the season for the Borough? Andrew Hill. Like you, Andrew, don't know I don't know the contract situation. What I do know is he must be attracting a hell of a lot of attention up and down the country and abroad, because he's playing international football for Scotland as well. In the last 2 games against Croatia and Poland, he's been amazing. He's been outstanding for us since he arrived. He's been unbelievably good. I mean, he got whacked on Saturday in the highlights I've seen. The boy brought him down, it was a penalty to us. It could be a leg breaker, but he was up and bounced up and got on with it. But he's small, he's strong, he's direct, skillful, he's up for the battle and fight. Despite my praise, I don't think he's in the Liverpool starting 11, but I think he's certainly good enough for a place on the bench. And as I said, I don't know the contract situation, but if Liverpool were to pick up 1 or 2 injuries before January, I think they would probably call upon Doak. And I think he's good enough for a place in the Liverpool bench. But let's hope we don't lose him, because it's one hell of a hole to fill. But it's one of the downsides of getting a loan player. But he's been amazing. Good kid. Somebody reminded me again the other day, he played with his granddad. His granddad sadly, tragically passed away. Fairly young man. I've yet to bump into Doak. I'm going to pull him and just say that I knew his granddad, and Martin Doak he was called. His granddad was a centre half. Played over 300 games for Morton. I was only a fringe player. I was about 18, 19 when I signed, 18, 17. But Martin stayed there, went on to play 300 and odd games, so he was, yeah, very good player, Martin, and a great guy, nice guy. Tom Curry was a great result. Hiya, Tom, great crowd. Need to keep it going though. Oxford fans were absolutely rubbish. Tom's no messing about. Oxford fan rubbish, Borough great, crowd were great, and we need to keep it going. Tom, I know what you're like, son. You're a Borough fanatic, and you see no wrong in the Borough, but I don't think anybody can see wrong in the Borough in the last few games. 3 games, just say, let it go in, digest it. 3 games. Start of the season, first 10 games. Some games we couldn't hit a bandeau, couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo, and everybody was saying, oh, chance after chance, they're missing. I kept saying we must eventually put them in. The law average says we will. Some people were saying, oh, we're going to score a barrel load against a team. But we've did it in 4 occasions now. A 3, a 4, a 5 and a 6. If we get a 7 in Wednesday, dear me, full frontal if we do 7 on here. On the Thursday night we'll do it, full frontal. Evening Bernie, unbelievable win. This is from Mohammed. Every goal was wonderful. We are on rock and roll. Speak to you tomorrow on the Reds phone. And yeah, I'm on the Red every Monday between 6 and 7. It's a Red radio. It's local. It's free. You can phone in, get involved. Yeah, so, and it's on DAB in your cars. Mohammed, we are good enough for the top 2. There's a few teams good enough for top 2. At the minute, we must be definitely one of them. Would you have said that after the Coventry 3-0 drubbing? Would you have said that after drawing against Portsmouth? See, this is the way it goes. Fans, every right to get carried away a wee bit with 15 goals, but just let's keep the powder dry, feet in the ground. Life in football is delicate. Anything can happen. You know, let's hope we're really on the up now. But the confidence, adrenaline levels must be sky high. Must be in a different plane. I don't mean aeroplane. The special thing about the Villa game being live on TV was that it was the first live 2nd Division game televised. Tell you what, David, wealth of knowledge. Thanks for that bit. Colin says, praise to the away fans travelling to Oxford in that weather. A bus or two broke down on the way, and they paid a lot of extra money paying for Uber taxis. Well, that's sad. But well done to the travelling fans. I always praise them. Amazing, astonishing. You know, to just think of the investment they have to do to get there, and the games are chopped and changed. Tuesday nights, Monday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights. You know, it's incredible what I find goes through in a season. Financially and exhaustion. You're talking about players needing a rest. What about the fans getting a rest? Bernie Joseph Slavin, what you make of George Edmondson? Impressive of form. Yeah, big man's come in. He's on loan, isn't he? Sure, he's one of the loans as well. Edmondson's just come in, as seamless as if he's been here for a long, long time. David McCaster says, for me, Doak will be here all season. The loan is working out perfectly for every party involved. It is. But as I say, if Liverpool hit a right few injuries and he is their player, what would you do? Would you leave him at Middlesbrough? When you know that you need another, it depends what position or whatever. But we need to touch wood and hope that we can keep him for the season. But it's going to be one hell of a hole to fill, no matter where we are next season. And will we be able to afford them if we got promotion into the Premier, which is still a long way off? You never know. We'd have the money, I would think, but it costs a hell of a lot. His valuation's going up every game he plays. Just think, if Conway had scored that Norwich penalty, then the run of hammering teams would have been longer. Oh, come on, we can't keep reflecting on things like that. Right, I'm going to read a few of these 10 minutes. I'm glad I've got a wee break it up. I always leave these, neglect them, and people have time to read them out. Bryce says, Bernie, great to see Letty Laugh grabbing the match ball. You must have had a few in your time at the Borough. Great to see, delighted to see a player getting and given the opportunity to score a hat-trick. A lot of coaches, managers up and down the country, when they see a player getting 2, don't want a player to override the whole occasion, to give them a hook, take them off. We've seen it with McClan, with Viduka, Hasselbank, Hamilton Rickard. I've seen it with numerous players. And yet I never see Messi and Ronaldo getting taken off when they score 2. It must be a difference there. The Fridge is on loan but his contract ends at Ipswich at the end of the season. If we go, I'll look to get Doak on another year's loan. I tell you what, David, there'll be more teams in Middlesbrough want him alone if he's a loan player. Think about it. There'll be top Premier League teams looking at his development. He's 18. It looks as if he's been in the team for years. He's been into international football, played against the vastly experienced fullback for Scotland against Croatia and tore it to shreds. Then he played against Poland, had another great game, set up a goal, set up another couple of chances. He'll be in everybody's radar. He'll be if he's up for loan next season. I think there'll be a host of Premier League clubs want his signature if they don't want to sign him permanently. Don says, so Bri, great to see you like Africa, man. Yeah, I scored a few hat tricks. Anybody guess how many hat tricks I scored for Middlesbrough? Your club, my club, our club. Don says Don was becoming a target for the hatchet men. When he got brought down for the penalty, I thought he was badly injured. I think the word hatchet men doesn't exist now, doesn't it? I think my day, way before me, there was definitely guys hatchet men. That was their nicknames. I don't think in the modern game there's such a thing. Hatchet men. Janet says Azaz is on fire now, Bernie. He is indeed, Janet, but so is the team. Everybody's on fire and everybody's reaping the rewards, and that's great. Everybody's getting in the act. You know, if it was just Latin Laugh had scored 11 and Azaz is still getting on and Bazog's getting on, then you would be thinking, but they're going round now. Everybody's sharing the goals, which is brilliant. Mike says, surprised to see Saul Bryn start. Well, I think a lot of people were, but Deng wasn't the starting lineup, wasn't the bench. So was he injured? I don't know. I don't listen to, well, I couldn't have listened to radio, but I don't listen to radio. Jonathan says, goals galore, which is fantastic. Can't seem to keep a clean sheet though. Yeah, we can't keep a clean sheet. That's disappointing. But as I say, I concentrate on going forward. We score more goals in opposition. I'm more than happy. I don't get money when be letting. That's just my mentality. That's what I like. Doak is here to the end of the season unless he got a long-term injury and would have to go back to Liverpool. Touch wood, he doesn't get that, Colin. I always remember your hat-trick at home against Blackpool. Revenge from them doing us the week before in the cup. I tell you what, David, you've got some knowledge for the past, haven't you? If you've got a crystal ball, you're clairvoyant. David's referring to it's just a wee story about man management. You're talking about Carrick, good man manager and coach, whatever. Bruce Rioch, we played Blackpool in the league. We played them at Essen Park. We get beat 3-0 in the league. Bruce Rioch went public to the local and national press, says Palace is a disgrace. Going from one extreme to the other. Last week it was great, this week's crap. And Slavin should start showing us what he gets paid for. Back then I was on 300 quid a week. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, that was a league game, and a couple of weeks later, the draw gets made for the FA Cup. Middlesbrough at home to Blackpool. So I socialised with Pally, still do, have a coffee with him. And I says, by the way, we're going to get it right up, Bruce. Get it right up, and we're going to do this, Mob, and we're going to do the business. He's hammered us in the public arena domain, and we've carried the can for everybody's inferior display, but he picked me and you because he knows we're pals. And anyway, we played Blackpool. Pallister was player of the match. Man of the match, not player of the match. Man of the match, because he's a man, I think. And Sladen scored a hat-trick, my first hat-trick in England. That was in the FA Cup. So yeah, that was quite a... I'm trying to think of the big guy who played up front for Spurs. Colour-haired lad, Stewart. What's his name, Stewart? Don't know his first name. Paul Stewart. Is it Paul Stewart? He scored a hat-trick, the 3-0 victory, and then I scored a hat-trick in the cup game. But yeah, so Bruce Rioch hammered us knowing, well, he didn't know we were going to get Blackpool in the cup, but he got a response. Loved your 3 commentary when Speedy also scored 3. Tony Sish. Tony, yeah, the cutter scored a hat-trick. I was fortunate. But the guy that scored the winner was Matt Buck. Matt Buck, if you want to listen to podcasts, I did a podcast with him a few weeks ago. He lives in Holland now. He's got a woman and a kid, and he loves life over in Holland. That's where he stays. And he looks back on his time at Middlesbrough very fondly. But a few bus-ups along the way as well with coaches and whatever. But yeah, 3 at Coventry, probably. I was fortunate to score 10 hat-tricks in my career, 7 for Middlesbrough, nobody's guessed it. But the Coventry one was the best, it was in the top flight. The guy in goal was, can't remember, vastly experienced goalkeeper. Was it Agrusovic? I think it was Agrusovic. He'd played like 400 or 500 games before I put a few past him, but yeah. The commentary says Deng was sick. Yes, Deng was unwell, so it's posting that. Paul Stewart, yeah, Paul Stewart played for Blackpool. Played for Blackpool in England, Paul Stewart. So I'll read a few of these out. We've got 5 minutes left, so have I read that one? Yeah. Joe says, I see rumours circulating that Manchester City and Palace are looking at Van den Berg. Yeah, you're always going to get rumours. Van den Berg's come in, 19 years of age, looks the part, cool, calm, reads the game well, can pass out of defence, can tackle fairly quick, good in the air. But his contract's at Borough 2027. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean he's going to be here for that time. But yeah, he's done very well. Matty says, what a couple of performances Ben Doak had for Scotland against Croatia and Poland. Well, I mentioned it, didn't I? I didn't see, I think I seen highlights when I was away against Croatia, but I watched the Poland game. He was very good. Len says, so McGree found himself on the bench again. Surprise, surprise. Sense a wee bit of sarcasm there, Len. It's a regular occurrence on the bench. Before and after it, and I've already mentioned that. Colin says, the question is, can we hold on to Ben Doak? If we can, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm sure we all would. Can still see the 3-4 game on YouTube, Bernard, when you and Speedy both got the hat-tricks. Yeah, people say, who got the ball? I get the ball because I scored the first hat-trick. So those that's not aware, the younger viewers, we were winning. I've scored a hat-trick. Kevin Speedy, who was 5'0", scored 3 headers that day. Pallister never played, he was injured, but Mugger played in Kernigan at the back, and we conceded 3 headers with a 5'0" guy who'd been a pantomime at Christmas. Where are we? We could do with 1 or 2 signings in January. From Mel, do you agree? Yeah, I've mentioned left back and probably left winger. Jamie says, Mika Hamilton, what's your opinion of him? I actually mentioned him, Jamie. I think the lad's come in, there's no doubt he's got talent, he's on Man City's books, he's on loan, but he's not set the head of a light, he's not really been given a fair run, but when I've seen him, looks a bit delicate, doesn't look really strong, maybe a wee bit insecure. Some kids are coming to Teesside alone is a cultural shock. Even used to staying in Manchester and then he's come up to the Borough. It's a shock. I told you it took me 1 year to settle in Middlesbrough. Hamo says, happy belated birthday, Bernard. Yeah, I was 28 the other week there. And you know what? I went to New York City. No, I didn't do all the usual stuff. I went and did stuff out the norm. I went to a concert in New York on the first day I arrived, on the 13th November. 2 birthdays, one here, one in New York, because of the time difference. And then I went to see, a few Basquiat. I get conned. Basquiat and Andy Warhol are 2 late artists. 2 of them sadly has passed away, but they're artists. There was an exhibition started November the 1st, ends July. It was all Basquiat and Warhol's exhibition. Made a lot of trips underground, walking, and got there. And my missus waited outside, she didn't want to see it. I went in and get conned. There was 2 prints, the rest were somebody else's paintings. There was 4 floors of paintings. So if you're in New York, you like the paintings, don't go, you're getting conned. At least Dick Turton wore a mask. Anyway, that was that. Delighted domestic football is back, Bernie. It's been disruptive, actually. Look, John says, enjoyed your podcast with Ian Baird, part 1 last week. Yeah, that was on Tuesday because I didn't come back last Monday. But part 2 is on tomorrow. Ian Baird, part 2 is free. Total BS podcast. Just click in Bernie Slim, Total BS, it's free. Franco says, Bernie, what was your best goal tally in a Borough shirt? Best goal tally, 32. That was the season we were 4th bottom of the league. Neil says, why is Foz not getting a game? Well, he's been out for nearly a season. Don't know the extent of his injury. He's been in and out of the team. He played for the 21s a few weeks ago. One of my mates went to see him and says he looked indifferent, missed a couple of chances. He's been on the bench yesterday. So, yeah, find it very difficult in this team. Carl says, I've heard a whisper, you are 40 years in Teesside next October. Are you having a celebration? My lips are sealed. Cal, I don't know who told you that, but the answer is yes, I will be having 40 years, dear me. Longer in Teesside than I was in Glasgow. I never heard of Middlesbrough. Wonder when Gilbert's back, don't know. Dave McCarthy says, remember when you wouldn't fly, Bernie? A transatlantic jet setter now. Well, David, I did fly. Just quickly, I don't want to blow the pants. I flew for years, went all around the world with the football and on my own, or my family. And then I had, after Lockerbie, the tragic crash over Lockerbie, I passed that the following day. And then that disrupted my flow of flying for 3 years. I went to see, was it a psychotherapist? Somebody in Middlesbrough, a lovely lady, can't remember, probably retired now. I went to see her 3, 4, 5 occasions. And within 3 months, I went to Australia. And I've been all over the world, and I go on it now and back to enjoying it, because after all, it's only a phobia. So anybody watching with a phobia of flying, or spiders or anything, clowns or anything, it's a phobia. Get yourself sorted, but especially the flying one. If you want to see the world, you're restricting yourself. It's a phobia. I've done it, I've been there. Anybody wants to privately contact me, I'll try and help you and tell you about my own experiences, but I've seen myself going to airports and disappearing. I did it with Middlesbrough, going to Bermuda, I headed off. People thought it was because of the Bermuda Triangle where planes were going missing, but it wasn't. It was flying. But as I say, I love it now, that going along the runway, love it, getting into the clouds, love everything about it now. My boy's actually gone today, he's away the other side of the world with his girlfriend. Forrest played for 30 minutes yesterday. Thanks for telling me, Colin. As I say, I only seen the goals, that's all I was trying to get at 11 o'clock at night after the electricity come on. Yeah, but I can't see him getting back in the team. So listen, thanks very much for joining us. We're just a minute over. Tomorrow, I'm on the Red Radio. You can click in the Red Radio. You can get it in your car on DAB. You can call us, it's free. You can get involved this way by the WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter. Wednesday night, Blackburn Rovers, I'll be there hosting the Legends Lounge. My guest is going to be the Yorkshire Vet. If you watch the Yorkshire Vet, Peter Wright, lovely guy. Animal lover, I'm an animal lover. He was actually here today to visit me. So he's coming to the game on Wednesday, he's my guest. And then on Facebook and YouTube Live will be Thursday, because the time I get in, it'll be late on. I'll do it between 9 and 10 on Thursday, hopefully discussing another victory. And if you want to listen to part 2 of Ian Baird, it's on tomorrow night. Tomorrow. And it's part 2, and it'll be really, well, it is really good. I know it's really good, so get involved. So listen, Forrest had a bad hamstring tear and I had an op. Again, like McGree, good management. Let's not bring him back too soon to break down again. I'll be honest, Matt, I don't think I'll get in the team. It was you couldn't put up with Pally's snoring. Probably that was it. Yeah, so thanks for watching. As I say, tomorrow, the Red Radio 67. Wednesday, I go to the game. Peter Wright, the Yorkshire Vet's my guest in the Legends Lounge. Facebook Live. It'll be on Thursday between 9 and 10, and you can listen to my podcast tomorrow, Ian Baird Part 2. I'd just like to thank sponsors yet again, because without them I wouldn't be doing it. This gives me a platform to give my opinion. I'm not guided by anybody. I've never been guided by anybody, to be fair. I've lost a few jobs through opinions, but that is me. But thanks to GRS Insulation, Smith & Friends Estate Agents, Cornerstone, Dovecot, Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Heroes and Legends, and TGM Cars. Cheers, Bernard, from Colin. Thanks very much. Up the borough. Well done, Michael Carrick. Well done, the players. Look forward to Wednesday. Can we get 7? I see the headlines now, the Magnificent 7. Try to think of who the Magnificent 7 were. What was their names? Thanks for the show, Bernard, David. Cheers, David. Thanks for getting involved. Thank you.